It was one of those nights where even the stars seemed too afraid to show their faces. The two-lane highway stretched out like a black ribbon, cutting through endless fields of nothing. The gas station stood alone, its flickering neon sign casting an eerie glow over the cracked asphalt. A faint hum from the buzzing light above the station's entrance mingled with the soft rustle of the wind, whispering through the sparse trees lining the road. I had been driving for hours. My car's gas gauge had been flirting with empty for miles, so when I saw the lonely beacon of the gas station, I pulled in without hesitation. The place looked abandoned, but the sign said it was open 24 hours. The faint smell of gasoline mixed with the faint odor of something rotten, a smell I couldn't quite place. As I stood there, letting the pump slowly gulp gas into my tank, I noticed a single car parked on the far side of the lot, near the edge where the light barely reached. It was an old sedan, the kind you'd find at a junkyard, with peeling paint and a sagging frame. Its windows were tinted, hiding whoever or whatever was inside. I should have just paid for my gas and left. But something about that car tugged at me, a strange magnetism I couldn't shake. Let me back up for a second. My name's Alex, 33, divorced and perpetually broke. I was driving through this godforsaken stretch of nowhere because I'd lost my job a month ago, and my buddy Tim offered me some work at his repair shop in the next state. Desperation had made the 6-hour drive seem like a good idea. I wasn't exactly the kind of guy who believed in ghosts or omens, but I'd had a rough streak of bad luck lately. And something about this place, this night, felt like another bad decision waiting to happen. As I walked into the station to pay, I noticed the cashier, a skinny kid who couldn't have been more than 19, with greasy hair and dark circles under his eyes. He was slumped behind the counter, scrolling through his phone, looking as though he hadn't slept in days. "Pump 3, I said, sliding a 20 across the counter. The kid didn't even look up. On my way back to the car, I caught movement out of the corner of my eye. The old sedan's passenger door opened, and a man stepped out. He was tall and thin, his face obscured by the shadow of a hood. He moved toward the gas station with a slow, deliberate stride. I didn't like the way he moved. Something about it felt off, like he was a predator stalking prey. I hurried back to my car, trying to shake the uneasy feeling creeping up my spine. As I started the engine, I glanced at the station's glass doors. The man was standing inside now, talking to the cashier, or rather, looming over him. The kid looked nervous, his eyes darting toward me for a split second. I froze. Something wasn't right. That's when I saw her. A girl, no older than 6 or 7, climbed out of the back seat of the sedan. She was barefoot, her pale dress stark against the darkness. Her hair was tangled, and she clutched a stuffed animal to her chest, its fur matted and gray. She didn't look up, didn't cry. She just stood there, staring at the ground like she was waiting for something. I should have driven away. But my hands stayed on the wheel, my eyes glued to the scene unfolding in front of me. The man came back out, dragging the cashier with him. The kid's face was pale, his mouth moving as if pleading for something. The man didn't seem to care. He shoved the kid into the sedan's trunk like he weighed nothing. I couldn't move. My brain struggled to process what I was seeing. An abduction. Here, in the middle of nowhere. The girl climbed back into the car, her tiny frame disappearing into the shadows. The man slammed the trunk shut, glanced around the empty lot, and got into the driver's seat. I panicked. Grabbing my phone, I fumbled to dial 911. But before I could press call, the sedan's headlights flared to life, illuminating my car. He'd seen me. The car sped toward me, tires screeching on the asphalt. I threw my car into reverse, adrenaline pumping as I backed out of the lot, narrowly avoiding the speeding sedan. The chase was on. He tailed me down the dark highway, his headlights glaring in my rearview mirror. I couldn't think, couldn't breathe. The road stretched endlessly before me, with no sign of another car or a town. Suddenly, my phone buzzed in the cup holder. Without thinking, I grabbed it, hoping it was 911, but the screen showed an unknown number. I answered, my voice trembling. "Hello," a child's voice whispered on the other end, soft and broken. "Help me." My heart stopped. "Who is this? Where are you?" But the line went dead. The sedan disappeared after that, just vanished, as if it had never been there. I kept driving until I reached the next town, where I stumbled into a police station, rambling about what I'd seen. The officers took my statement but exchanged doubtful looks. No missing person reports, they said. No signs of a struggle at the gas station. For weeks, I couldn't sleep. That girl's face haunted me, the whisper on the phone, the man's shadowed figure. And then, a month later, I saw her again. This time it was on a missing persons flyer taped to a telephone pole. The picture was faded, but it was her. Same tangled hair, same stuffed animal. She'd been missing for 10 years.